Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the GRIPS Forum. My name is Narushige Michishita. I teach International Security Affairs at the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies, or GRIPS, based in Tokyo. I'll be serving as your host today. While campaigning for premiership, Yoshihide Suga pledged to revitalize regional economies by raising the minimum wage, boosting tourism, and promoting agricultural reform. Since 2012, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe had worked on a three-pronged economic reform policy called Abenomics. One of the most important pillars in the Abenomics reform was agriculture. Yet, the agricultural sector in Japan continues to face challenges. How has the environment surrounding agriculture in Japan has changed in the past years? What are the farmers and the innovators in that sector doing in Japan? Today, we have invited Ms. Aoi Fujita to answer these questions. Ms. Fujita started her career as a business consultant at the Nomura Research Institute, one of the biggest consulting firms in Japan, after studying about international relations and history at the University of Tokyo. Realizing that agriculture in Japan faced mounting challenges, Ms. Fujita decided to devote her life to the agricultural reform in Japan. She joined a startup enterprise called Farmship Incorporated in 2016, and then joined Daiwa Food and Agriculture in August this year. In the meantime, she also launched a unique incorporated association called Nuffield International Farming Scholarship Associate Japan, with 3 other leading agriculture reformists, and has been serving as a secretary general in that organization. I will ask Ms. Fujita to speak for about an hour, and we will open the floor for Q&A and discussion after that. The presentation and discussion will be on the record. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Fujita.
So, thank you very much, Michishita Sensei, for your kind introduction. And good evening, everybody. My name is Aoi Fujita, as just introduced. So today, I would like to speak about Japanese agriculture, its challenges, and also how they would be solved in many ways. So today's presentation is called Emerging New Technology and Leaders, and where is Japanese agriculture heading for? As just introduced, I am a Secretary General of Nuffield International Farming Scholarship Japan Associate. And at the same time, I am working as a Senior Manager at Daiwa Food and Agriculture Incorporated. And before that, I was a Manager of Business Development of agriculture startup, which is called Farmship. I just changed my career in 2016 because I realized the challenges of Japanese agriculture while I was working as a business consultant at Nomura Research Institute. Let me tell you a little bit private story. I thought that business consultant is, of course, a important career in the society to support many fields of the some nations or some business, however. But why I changed my career to startup or in the field of agriculture is that even though consultant is a very important job, I was more interested in having myself in more deeper area in decision making of business. And also at the same time, what I realized was Japanese agriculture at that time was a little bit very behind of other industry in the field of internationalization and also the business power. So I just decided to devote myself to the agriculture business and also in the field of business development and decision making in one company. In farmship, I learned, and also I was a member of business development in, of course, farming. But in the farming field, I was in a more technology field, which is called plant factory or vertical farming. Today, I will be touching a little bit about Japanese vertical farming later. But anyway, it was a very interesting time for me because the vertical farming was also a big challenge for Japanese agriculture then. So it was a great timing for me to be a member of a vertical farming company from 2016 to 2020. And during that time, I also made a network with Japanese younger leaders of agriculture in Japan. And that led me to launch a Nuffield International Farming Scholarship Japan Associate. So now I changed my career again within the field of agriculture to Daiwa Food Agriculture Company. But anyway, I am devoting myself in my lifetime to agricultural field in two ways. One is the director of or Secretary General of Nafio International Farming Scholarship Japan Associate and agriculture business person. So that's me. And let me talk a little bit about Nuffield International. So maybe many of the audience today are wondering what is Nuffield International Farming Scholarship, but it is it has a longer history for more than 70 years. It's a scholarship organization for farmers. Interesting point is that that this scholarship is formed, managed by farmers, and it works for farmers. Its objective is develop and inspire leadership in individuals in agriculture. And every year, 70 or more farmer scholars are selected from all over the world and have a 2 years training in their own farming management. We have a longer history. This International Farming Scholarship was founded in 1947 by William Richard Morris. He is a Viscount Nuffield in UK. He was a businessman, and he produced a record of automobile in the United Kingdom. But not only the automobile industry, his main message was younger leaders in every field should learn from traveling around and see everything by their eyes and come back to their field or country and then contribute to their industry. That's his own message. So he founded Nafio Trust as a whole kind of the mother trust, but and it has many fields and it includes agriculture. So that was a Nuffield International Farming Scholarship, which was found in 1947. And after more than over 70 years up to now over 1,070 Nuffield scholars are managing their agribusiness all over the world. And all over the world means these countries. Nuffield scholars comes from UK, Australia, Canada, etc., etc. And Japan is the newest member of this Nuffield scholarship. And each number stands for the number of scholars of each country. So Japan just started 2020, and it has a newest scholar from Kyoto. And how we were founded was I and 3 other leading farmers founded Nafio Japan Associate in 2019. One of our head is Mr. Shigeo Maeda, who is based in Hokkaido, and he owns and manages more than 100 hectares of a grain and corn farm. And second guy is from Mie Prefecture, and he is a specialist in tomato, and he has a broad network with other field industry, such as Denso or another oil company, and he based in Mie Prefecture. His business is expanding to international world, starting from tomato. And third member is myself, and fourth member of founding member founders is Mr. Narasako. He is a sweet potato guy and based in Miyazaki Prefecture. And his career is also interesting. After finishing university, he joined to food trading company. But more interesting point, or maybe some funny point, was he loves sweet potato too much. So he changed his career to sweet potato farming company. We 4 gathered for these 4 years, and our mission was to be engaged in Nuffield International as an associate country and establish a Nafio Japan as a newest member of Nuffield International. And it took 4 years to be acknowledged and from Nuffield International to be a member of associate, but we accomplished this mission. And last year we started our activity as a Nuffield Japan associate, the scholarship managing organization. And but that is just the form of our organization. But more important point is to gather a scholar and to gather the sponsorship from Japan. So we should recruit younger leaders of agriculture, and also we should get some sponsorship from other Japanese farming or related companies. And our success story was that we managed to recruit one of the passionate Japanese younger farmers who is based in Kyoto, and he is a Mr. Morigami. He is a green onion farmer. And the interesting point is that he is not a third generation, fourth generation farmer, but he is a new upcoming emerging farmer who started his agribusiness by himself. So he is a one of the most powerful agribusinessmen in Japan, and he just started his scholarship activity this year. And for next year, and we are now hiring another new scholars, and now we are in the recruit process. So we are just passionate about who would be the next person in a family member of Nafio Japan. So we are not stopping here, and from 2023, I think we are hiring more scholars, and we would like to expand our activity to the global world and also within the Nuffield International Scholarship. So our activity can be called the education of new agribusiness leaders in Japan, and I am touching this point later. So anyway, that's the introduction of myself and also the, where I am from. And here I would like to pose one question to you all. So from your mind, what does Japanese agriculture look like? So here, so please just come up with some ideas or maybe some keywords which describes Japanese agriculture. Yeah, so maybe traditional, or the rice maker. Some another idea can be emerging in your mind. And let me introduce one interesting keywords which describes Japanese agriculture. These keywords are the very ones we were given in international conference of Nuffield International Scholarship last year. It was a interesting group work, and we together with 70 or more international farming scholars, we were divided into 10 groups, and each group orders to come up with or describe some country's agriculture. And these keywords in this slide are the very keywords that foreign farmers came up with about Japanese agriculture. Interesting thing is that maybe here, few commodities. And another interesting thing was somebody came up with fish markets, maybe maybe tsukiji. Another thing is small farms. That's actually the very fact, I should say. And also another keyword which is funny for me was here, ramen. So why they think about ramen from Japanese agriculture is just questionable. However, these are the images or keywords which can be describing Japanese agriculture by foreign farmers. So, I'm not rather say these keywords are true or false, but it's maybe it helps you to understand Japanese agriculture a little bit. And from now on, I am touching to some another data and also numbers, which describes the Japanese agriculture as a fact. 66, 67, 1.4, 3.0, and 9. And these are numbers which is very important in Japanese agriculture. And I'm now explaining what do these numbers represent. 66. This is a percent of self-sufficiency in Japan. The production value based, our self-sufficiency rate is 66. And it's a little bit fluctuating. But anyway, we depend on import. One third of our food is based on import. And also, compare this number with other major countries. I should say this 66% is not very low, but it's not enough to cover the all Japanese people's food. For example, Canada, Australia, USA, France, and Germany, this country can cover almost 100% or more of their food by their own production, and compared to these numbers, 66 is it can be explained as a low self-sufficiency. It's one of the challenges we should address. Next number is 67. This describes the average age of farmers. And slightly, however, the average age of farmers is going up in these 10 years. And maybe surprising fact is that compared to average age of entire labor force, it has more than 20 years gap. The employed person's average age is almost 46, but average age of farmers is almost 67. So please imagine that in Japanese company, the retirement age is 60. Or nowadays, some of the companies are applying, are having the policy to prolong the retirement age up to maybe 65. But anyway, that number 65 or 66, 67, that is the average age of Japanese farmers. So they are still active. The senior farmers still active in agriculture business or agriculture world in Japan. And 1.4 million, it's the number of farmers. And let's compare this number to entire labor force again. The number of entire labor force in Japan is now growing slightly to 67.2 million, but the number of farmers declining by -3% per year to 1.4 million. So here we should ask the questions that who will deal with, who will support Japanese food in maybe 10 years. And another number, which is 3.0, describes the average size of arable land that one farmer manages in Japan. And this number astonishes sometimes the foreign farmers. When I was in the international conference of Nuffield International, and I introduced the overview of Japanese agriculture and explained that our farmer manages 3.0 hectares and for average, then they should be so surprised and saying that 3.0 hectare, isn't it the garden of one family? And that is actually the question or the comment that one of the Nafio International scholars posed to me. But interesting fact is that the arable land size of one farmer is growing. 10 years before it was 2 hectares, but last year it became to 3 hectares. So, but it's still so small compared to major countries. We can see the difference. Japan has 3 hectares, but even though Netherlands farmers manages 15 hectares for average, and another interesting or maybe surprising example is Australia. So here we should address to the challenge that how to manage this arable land, which is pretty small but growing in each farmers. And the last number I'm presenting is 9. It's a 9 trillion yen. Equivalent to 80 billion US dollars. It's a gross output of Japanese agriculture. It also fluctuates for these years. However, anyway, we have kept almost 8 to 9 trillion yen gross output in agriculture. So how these numbers can be combined or understood? Interesting fact here. So I have just talked that 9 trillion yen gross output is supported by 1.4 million farmers. Here, another interesting number is that 2/3 of the gross output, which is 6.5 trillion Japanese yen agricultural output, is produced by only 5% of farmers, which is 70,000. So 5% of farmers produces more than 70% of the output. here we have three insights. So when you can calculate, one farmer supports 86 population. So one farmer produces for average food for 86 people. And second insight is that farmers declines with very, very high speed. It's 15 times faster than all population decline. And third insight is that growing farmers integrating the farmland, and they deal the main body of agricultural production. That is the 5%, 70% logic. And what's next? So what will be happening in 10 years? So when I applied the calculation, the same calculation, and the Japanese agriculture can be described as a very pessimistic future. So now Japanese agriculture gross output is 9 trillion yen, but it can be declined to 8 trillion Japanese yen in 2030 when I calculate by the change in these 10 years. And also another pessimistic future maybe is that the number of farmers can be or maybe should be declined into 0.6 million from 1.4 million in 10 years. And another logic is that the 5% and 70% logic is applied, then only 30,000 farmers should produce 6 trillion Japanese yen gross output for Japanese people. And then here, another question is that how we can survive in international competition. So here I pose some strategy of Japanese agriculture survive. Our goal should be set as the sustainable business model of the agriculture. If the business model, agricultural business model, is not sustainable, our business or our agriculture cannot be survived. And when we think of the sustainable business model of the business development, issues or the challenges to be solved is that the yield and depreciation, and also the distribution cost and shrinking internal market. And how to solve this problem should be, of course, downsize the cost, improve the sales, and also maximization of the productivity. And how to do that? I am posing three operations or to be conducted: technology development, the collaboration among industry, and new leaders development. So let me explain this strategy here. So our challenges are described in the slide. In production basis, the challenge is the low yield and high cost. When picking up the paper production case, Japan's paper yield is pretty low, which is 7 to 10 tons per 1,000 square meter. Compared to that, Korea can produce 11 to 24 tons, and Netherlands can surprisingly 28 tons papers per 1,000 square meter. Another challenge is high cost. When picking up the greenhouse management or greenhouse development, depreciation cost per samely 1,000 square meter is in Japan 3 million yen, but in Korea 0.5, and in Netherlands 2.2 million. So here, in production basis, we should address two challenges, which is low yield and high cost. At the same time, we have another challenges in distribution, and one is the high cost here again in distribution. For example, in Japan, after after production, we should pay 10 to 38% of production cost as a distribution cost. So if you produce, for example, 100 yen vegetable, then when it appears in supermarket, it comes to at least 120 yen. Comparing this fact to Korean case and Netherlands case, their distribution cost is pretty low. They are around 10%. And last challenge is the shrinking internal market. As you know, Japanese population shrinks by 0.2% per year, and also our society is aging. So due to that, the food consumption is also decreasing. So so the market is shrinking, but the distribution cost is pretty high. So how to survive in an international competition, we should address to these 4 challenges. And here I just present a very simple structure of the profit. In order to have a sustainable model, the only one solution is to grow the farming entity's profit. It is described as the unit price by shipment amount minus production cost and sales and admin cost. And how to do that? This graph shows the cost analysis of paper as a case. The biggest cost is depreciation, which is almost 20%. And another thing is utility, including electricity, which is 20%, and personal expense is together with full-time workers and part-timers, it comes to the more than 20%, 25%. So in order to address the cost thing, firstly, we should address to the depreciation cost. And how to improve that cost downsizing. I am posing 3 solutions here which can be improved in Japanese agriculture. One is technology development, and the second is collaboration among industry and young leaders development. And technology, and here I pick up some of the cases of new emerging technology in Japanese agriculture. One is the vertical farming. The farmship is actually one of the leader in vertical farming. Maybe some of the audience today are not so much familiar with vertical farming. But anyway, the vertical farming, or somebody can call it plant factory, it has a multi-shelved plant, and it is developed within the building or the warehouse. And most interesting point is they don't use sunlight, but they use the LED lighting to grow a vegetable. And it enables farmers to do the all year round production. So, for example, in farmship and within their farming network, it can produce 10 tons of lettuce every day, per day. And that is one of the case of high-tech farming. And another example is it's also what I am dealing with right now. It's the scaled and high-tech greenhouse. In traditional Japanese greenhouse, it lacks some technology to control the environment inside of the greenhouse. However, in this scaled and high-tech greenhouse, we have, or the farmers can have the high-tech environment control system to censoring the status of the vegetable and control the environment to the sustainable environment, such as the CO2, temperature, humidity, etc. Another technology solution is energy solution, and this is one of the case which Japanese company called Veginova is planning to or now developing in their field. It's the combination of vertical farming and energy circulation. It enables farmers not only growing the vegetable inside of the building, but it has a solar panel on the roof, and it has the electricity within their factory, and then it sends that electricity and heat to inside of the plant factory. So the energy circulates within the plant, which can be contribute to energy consumption and also the depreciation cost downsizing. So when we have this high-tech farming, how will be the future of agricultural facility? The more productive high-tech facilities are being introduced right now, and traditional greenhouse can be replaced to the newly developed high-tech glass house, where farmers can control the environment more automatically. Then traditional greenhouse, the number of the greenhouse should be decreasing. However, within the high-tech glass house, we have more productive way of the production of greens, and we can have more sustainable production. second solution is collaboration among the industry. And here I am describing the collaboration in distribution with farmers and related entities. Here, the coordinating entities have a very vital role to saturate this business model. Here, the collaborators, producers, the farmers, the warehouse operator, distributors, supermarkets, and coordinating entity, work as a coordinator in this business model, and they watches how the market grows or declines, and they do the promotion and marketing to supermarkets or to the end users. Then they can control the demand and supply. So when they can control the demand and supply, they have they send that information to producers, and they order to producers what to be produced and how much they should produce, and when the vegetable should be shipped to a warehouse. The values of this business model is to minimize the to-dos of producers and also stabilize the price and amounts of vegetable. So in the future, if this business model can be saturated, then another good values is the minimize of the food loss. Here I represent the three major companies of Japanese farming, which is doing this coordinating business. Butai Farm, based in Miyagi, doing this business model in rice field, and Farm does it in leaf vegetable, and Kushima Oil Farm does this in potatoes. So maybe 5 years before, this coordinating business model a little bit difficult to work because each producers are so independent, and but now each producers realizing actually the importance of this coordinating business, and they are now collaborating with each other to do this coordinating business to minimize the to-dos of themselves. So this business model just started to work. When this collaboration works in distribution, it has another value, which is it can be applied to production area too. So if that coordinating entities coordinates the farmers and material producers such as seeds or another material, fertilizer, then each farmers can trust this coordinating entities about the procurement of materials. And also this business model can minimize to-dos of producers, and it downs the cost of procurement. So this model is newer than the collaboration model in distribution. So it's just under the planning basis in agriculture field in Japan, however. But I am foreseeing that this collaboration in production can be starting working in maybe in a few years. So last solution is leaders development. Here, again, I am explaining what a Nuffield farming scholarship are doing. And as I said, the Nafio International Scholarship is a good case of younger leaders development, younger agricultural leaders development in each country. And how it works is that we are, of course, we link the sponsors and scholars, and we support the young leaders or scholars to be the next generation leaders in their each country. But at the same time, we have a international program to educate these scholars. So starting with the annual conference, the scholars begin their activity as a scholar, as a Nuffield scholar in international world. So they are after selected as a Nuffield scholar, they travel a lot based on that scholarship. They are not staying in their country, but they just jump out to international world, and they visit many areas outside of their country. And there, they visit not only the farming entities, but also to food market and also another related entities, and also the other scholars farms, and they learn many things based on their study topic. Then after that travel, they come back to their area and of course keep on their management. However, here they use the knowledge or the lessons learned from their travel, and they apply these skills or the knowledges to their management. So, and also, even after 2 years scholarship, their network will be kept for their life. So, for example, one farmer, one newest scholar can be linked with the older scholars who finished this scholarship 40 years ago, and can ask for some help to improve their management or some technology. And also after finishing this scholarship, that new scholars will be, of course, independent, but they now they step on to next phase or next stage to support the next generation scholars. So this network is circulating not only all over the world, but also all over their life, and they support each other, and they have a great network in for their life the longer time. So this is one of the leaders development activity, and I'm very happy that Japan is now one of the members of this flourishing network of Nafio International, and Japan can have a scholars there. But not only the Nafio International, but I hope that even within Japan, if this kind of leaders development program is managed, then it also contributes to Japanese agriculture's surviving in the future. So today I have talked some challenges about Japanese agriculture, and the 3 solutions to improve the situation of Japanese agriculture, which is a technology and collaboration with within the industry and young leaders development. And now anyway, thank you for your attention today, and I am now giving back the microphone to Michishita Sensei, and I welcome your questions and comments. Thank you very much.